And we are live. Good morning. Happy Friday. TGIF. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know what it was like where you live last night, but here in the Midwest, Ohio, we had some wicked thunderstorms. The lightning was crazy last night. I mean, that's part of our, what we live with here, tornadoes and thunderstorms and stuff, but it was just like scary bad last night. But things looking up today. Hope your week has gone well. Finish strong. That's my word of encouragement for you on this Friday. I wanted to talk a little bit about demos this morning, and perhaps this could be the beginning of an ongoing conversation, at least for a while. Because there are a number of things we could talk about when it comes to demos, but one question that I am asked quite frequently is, how many demos do I need? Well, and understand my answer is coming from the perspective of, being a seasoned pro, having done this full time for 16 years, coaching a lot of people, and I'm also a demo producer. My advice is always this. There's one demo that is mission critical, that regardless of what you plan to do in voiceover, I highly recommend. I'm not saying you can't do it any other way. This is not like a rule, but I think it will serve you well. And that is, you really need a commercial demo. And you may be saying, well, Bill, I really, that's not my plan to do commercials. I want to do e-learning. I want to do character work, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. Keep this in mind. Probably 80% of all my work is not commercial related. It's explainer videos, it's e-learning, it's corporate type stuff. Yet, I would say 95% of the time that I'm hired for a job, what does a client reference? What did they hear? It was my commercial demo. And if you look at the stats from my website, well over 90% of the people who come to listen to demos go to my commercial demo first, regardless of what they hire me for. So it's, I know that might seem counterintuitive and kind of strange. And why does it work that way? I don't know. And it really doesn't matter. I don't care why. Trying to figure out why, I don't know that would serve us at all. But what is important is that we know that we know the behavior of people, and then we can respond accordingly. So, and again, I'm not saying that you can't build a career with another demo, provided, let's say there was one demo. It's like your desert island demo. What would it be? But I highly recommend that you do a commercial demo, because you can get booked on. I've talked about it multiple times. I get booked on all kinds of. If you name the voiceover work, I've probably done it, and some way more than others, obviously. But I'm almost always booked off of my commercial demo, interestingly enough. Now, so that should be where you start. And if that's the only demo you get done, then I think you're going to be fine. I think, I can build a career off just a commercial demo. I don't think that's an issue. However, is it a bad idea to have other demos? No, absolutely not. And in some cases, there are clients who will want to hear other demos. And somebody just said, Joe said Lego cop. Yeah, that was that's one of the jobs that I, excuse me, I booked that without a character demo. Lego City policeman. It was are you familiar with that toy, or maybe you heard me talk about it? That was years ago. And that was for the European market, interestingly enough. I did quite a bit of work for Lego back a few years ago. That was one of the more fun jobs that I've done. So, start with a commercial demo. Now, my personal opinion, based on experience, is that the second most important demo, if you're going to get a second demo, is a narration demo. And a narration demo is a broad. When I produce a narration demo, for me, that's very broad-based. There's certainly e-learning, and maybe a couple different types of e-learning involved in that. Explainer video, documentary type read, even a longer form commercial type of thing that's not like for broadcast, something that might be like a 2 or 3 minute explainer video type of commercial. Obviously, that doesn't all go into the demo. The point, that length, we're only taking a few seconds of it. But the point is, we want to show people your range. Even on hold, Anything that's really non-commercial, non-character, non-promo related, for the most part, I consider narration. After that, then you're really getting into more niche and genre-specific demos, which is absolutely fine. But we had this conversation, I think it was yesterday, where I was talking about, maybe it was the day before, to take a very broad-based approach, especially earlier in your career. Don't paint yourself into a corner. Let the market tell you what you're best at. Use your auditions as marketing research to find out what people like best from you. And so my recommendation is not to start off thinking that you're going to serve yourself well by getting a commercial demo, a narration demo, a character demo, a promo demo, an audiobook demo. Not that that's a bad idea to have an audiobook demo. It's not. Or, on and on and on, and to have all these niche specific demos thinking it's going to help you. You really need to start with one, and I recommend commercial. And then from there, you can, a few years down the road, you realize that, okay, I'm starting to get primarily requests for e-learning or for promos or whatever. Yeah, then I think it's good to get that kind of a demo to support you. But, and it's not just a cost thing. I mean, a good demo is not cheap, but it's an investment in your business, and it's going to help you grow your business. So I'm not saying it just because to help save you money. I'm just saying I don't think it serves you. I don't think it provides anything for you right out of the gate to have 5, 6 different demos. I think having a commercial demo does, and then from there you can kind of grow and expand from there. Okay, and it's Friday, and I like to answer questions on Friday. So if you've got a question or comment, put it in the live chat stream here on YouTube, and let me see what we can do with that. Joe says, I need demos. As I said, I think one of the ways that I serve voiceover talent best is the fact that I am a demo producer. I've produced hundreds of demos. I've written and created thousands of commercials throughout my career. And if that's something that you would like help with, then reach out to me. I can get you all the information, cost, obviously samples of my work. You always, when you're shopping for a producer, always insist on hearing their work and what they've done and compare it to others, So I'll send you all that. But just contact me at voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. Voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. And in the subject, just put demo or demo info or something like that, and I'll get that out to you. Let's see here. Hey, Louisville. All right. Atlanta. Indy. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's a question. What's the best way to control VO talking speed? I talk too fast. Bruce, that is a common thing. It's something I struggled with for a number of years, because the crazy thing of this microphone, and I don't mean my microphone specifically, I'm talking about a microphone. Being in front of a microphone flips a switch subconsciously in our mind that puts us like in performance mode, and it tends to increase the adrenaline flow. And a result of that is that it tends to, I would say 95% of the people that I work with, myself included, will tend to err on the side of speaking too quickly, too fast, as opposed to too slow. It's like lights go on, the switch is on, it's time, it's showtime, right? And I'm saying this is all kind of at a subconscious level. The adrenaline begins to flow. And I remember early on in my career, the biggest piece of feedback I got is slow down. I'd be doing like a directed session. Okay, let's do that again, but this time let's slow it down. And that happened. Finally I realized, okay, Bill, you need to be conscious and aware of the fact that you're talking too fast. So most of you, that's going to be your issue. You talk too fast as opposed to too slow. I would rather start too slow and then kind of build up from there than from the other way around, because the slower you go, and obviously projects will dictate how fast you can and can't go oftentimes. But oftentimes with narration, you've got some leeway there. But the slower you go, the better that you can see and interpret and visualize and feel what you're talking about. You can communicate it much more effectively when you're going slower. You can add pause for emphasis, to add dynamics to what you're doing. If you're speed reading, you can't. It just becomes a blur. So how do I do it? Back to your question, Bruce. How do you do that? A little trick that I came up with to help me is I used my hand as a metronome. I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? So how do you do that? Well, what I would do when I found myself reading too quickly. And it's like, oh, and just by the way, being aware of it and listening for it, you'll begin to catch yourself. So what I began to do is I began to move my hand like a metronome. And I would just move it slowly. And I would read while my hand would move slowly, like tick, tock, tick, tock. And just for me, the movement of my arm or my hand slowly, like a metronome, slowed me down. It slowed my read down. What's interesting is that I don't do that anymore. I just don't need to because I've done it long enough and now I'm very conscious of it, and I've ingrained a pattern of being patient with a read. But it's hard to do when you first get started. And don't underestimate how important this is. This is really important because I guarantee you, if you can slow yourself down, you'll see a lot more success because your reads will be better. That's just the way it works. But try it. Just take your hand and just when you find yourself you're going too fast, you're reading too quickly, it's like, oh wow, I am really speed reading here. Just take your hand or tap your foot. And that might not work because it might make too much noise, but whatever it is, doesn't matter. It could be your finger. Just move it slowly, rhythmically, in a slow, steady beat. And that will slow you down. It will allow you to read more slowly, which again, I guarantee you will result in a better read. And even if I'm doing something that, let's say, a car dealership ad, and I have to do there's a lot of words to squeeze in a very short time, and that's very common when it comes to especially more local type commercial work, local market, small market. It's not the big brand building. It's for pushing, selling. You need to learn to read quickly, but you don't do that by starting to read quickly. You do it, and it took me a while to figure this out. You start to do it by learning to read slowly, because when you read slowly, you can see the meaning, you see what's going on, and as you read it slowly, you do it well slowly, then you pick up the speed of your metronome and you begin to read it faster. Then you do it again and you do it a little bit faster. And then you do it again, you do it a little bit faster. Before you know it, you can read far more quickly than you thought, but most importantly, you're reading it well because you're honoring the intent of the script. You see it and you're communicating it. You're just able to do it faster. Okay. Where can you find material to audition? Well, on the freelance platforms, Fiverr certainly, Upwork, pay-to-play sites, that are created for voiceover talent. If you're with an agency, those are all ways to get auditions. Also, in your direct marketing, when you begin doing that, clients will send you scripts to read. That's part of that. But primarily on the platforms, like you said, ACX, Upwork, Fiverr. Let's see here. Good morning from Michigan. Got my coffee on and waking up. Thanks, Matthew. I think I mentioned this the other day, but my favorite coffee, it's been Dunkin' Donut coffee for a year. I'm not a big Starbucks fan. I mean, I can drink it, but I prefer the smoother, mellower as opposed to the bitier, somewhat bitter coffee. But Meyer, for those of you who have Meyer grocery stores, Meyer has a Michigan cherry coffee, and we usually get it. We get it in the beans, the whole bean. So like this morning, I ground a pot of Michigan cherry coffee. But you can also get it in K-cups. That stuff is amazing. Amazing. All right. Happy Friday to you guys. All right. Should I work on my David Attenborough voice? No, Matthew, you should. I know you're joking when you say that. You should work on your voice. Be you. Do you, because there's nobody else like you. Let's see here. Chris says, thank you for bringing the best VO-related content. Chris, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Do you have any videos showing what settings, software, plugins, etc. you use to process and edit your voiceovers? Also, when doing live videos, like now, what are your settings? Okay, I'm going to do something here. This will be my last question for the morning because I got a lot of voiceover work to record today, but let me see if I can do this. What I'm going to attempt to do is to share my entire screen with you. Let's see here. Put my face down there in the corner. So, okay. me get some of this stuff out of the way. All right, this is the software for my Universal Audio, and I'm just going to bring up, this is my audio chain. I use all well, my interface is a Universal Audio Apollo Twin. By the way, you don't need this setup. I do it because I like to be able to process my audio in real time, which this allows me to do. The interface has the DSP that actually runs the plugins in real time as if it was hardware. But this is what I've got. I run the Apollo Vision channel strip. And by the way, you can go back and watch the video later to get if you want to try to read the settings. This is a Precision de-esser. This is all Universal Audio software. This is the LA2A compressor. Cambridge parametric equalization. And then I use their noise reduction software called the C-Suite CVox. And I run that full up, 100%. And it really cleans things up. So those are my settings. Hopefully, I know there's a lot of small stuff there to see, but if you go back and watch the video, you can probably figure out a lot of that stuff. But those are the settings that I use. I hope you find that helpful. All right, now we'll go just back to my face there. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I've got a lot of work to do today. I hope you do as well. If not, you will. Just keep, you've got a lot of work to do today. Marketing, do that. That will result in a lot of voiceover work. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will be back to see you on Monday morning.